Hello everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. MultiVac MTV is on the video today. Guys, this is the strangest project I think I have in my portfolio right now. We've covered this in a spectrum of emotions, I'll admit. A roller coaster, if you like. The dizzy heights of the end of last year, hitting very nice price points for MTV. We'll go into the chart and everything in more detail shortly, but since then, a very quick recap for those that are perhaps new to MTV, or indeed didn't realize what had happened over these last 6 months. Of course, the 31st of December, a change of CEO/CTO. Very bizarre situation. It was out of nowhere almost, albeit at the time I did say in the first couple of weeks of January that these things happen, whether it's health or personal reasons, whatever it is, we are in this situation. And as a business, it's probably quite difficult. Well, I know it's difficult to pull teams together, a regroup, or indeed, keep people happy, if you like, whilst you're trying to operate the changes and what's happening. So, I think they're going to take a lot of learning curves from what has happened and what they've done and how they perceived to react to the market, as well as the investors and people who are interested in the project like ourselves, in the sense that perhaps they didn't communicate very well for quite some time. We had the roadmap come out in a strange text format on a Medium article, which just really didn't make any sense. Finally, they changed the roadmap online, and then they implemented a couple new team members. Kathy, for example, is supposedly the VP element of community. In other words, hopefully, or supposed to be, communication. This is Kathy, by the way, who hasn't posted since middle of May. Bit confusing, but I'm not. To be fair, if you're the VP of community and ecosystem and you're not messaging often, it does ring a few alarm bells in my mind now. I've tried to be really balanced with my thought process around MultiVac. On paper, as I've always said, it is a really top project. The actual official channel is still posting regularly, which is really interesting. There's still listings, updates, and we've just had this one come out 31st of May, so about 10 days ago by the time you see this video. So the CTO, Dr. Sean Ying, answering a few questions here. So I'll open that one a sec while we go through these ones. So listing on LaToken, there's a few bits about NFTs and things like that. Nothing drastic, nothing majorly exciting. Long-term staking's been added, which is pretty cool. But that's obviously to try and, in my mind, keep as many holders as possible from selling tokens in the market that we're in. Let's bear in mind, this isn't just about the just MTV. It's the multitude of the market in general is not good. Now, this is quite interesting because they have this little backlink here. I will keep the page with the new Q&A with CTO. Well, it hasn't changed since the May the 8th. So, guys, if you're listening from MultiVac over there, please can you maybe edit that so that it just looks a bit silly when people are trying to do some research or see if there's any improvements from yourselves and you're just not updating anything like aspect wise there. It's a bit silly. Anyway, so this is where we are now, guys. What am I thinking right now? And everyone's always asking me, like, what do you think of MultiVac? Where's the update video to MultiVac? And like, we're getting back on track with videos. I had the change of all the really nice visuals. Well, hopefully you like the visuals. I think they're pretty sick. And then I stupidly had a bit of a fever. Then I was supposed to go on holiday, and then the flight got cancelled within an hour of me about to fly, which is pretty big state at the moment here in Europe and the UK. So I'm here now with nothing else to do other than work, obviously, first and foremost, and then when I can, try and do these videos. So my thoughts and feelings now around MultiVac, there's, I wouldn't say it was FUD. I think people were just concerned because there's no communication or lack of communication from really key personnel in the MultiVac team. I've reached out to a couple on LinkedIn and they're just continuing in pending status. I'm not too fussed about that. I'm not looking too deep into that because, a lot of people on LinkedIn just think, oh God, is this guy like after marketing or whatever? I don't know. But regardless to that, yeah, I was a bit disappointed. At least like not one of the team has reached back to me, and that includes on Twitter as well. We'll have to see. So I'm now in the 50-50 camp. I'm always open and honest with everyone out there that's listening, because we do have a duty to make our feelings known when we're investing, and like what we do in our portfolios and how do we react to things. And I'm very level-headed. I hope you can see that. And we've given MultiVac a bit of breathing space, a bit of time, but 6 months down the line, in my opinion, is more than enough time to start really ramping up strategic communication and strategic updates for everyone. Now it's great. Like I said, they're still active. We know they're alive, which is cool, but they just keep repeating or commenting on things. Like if someone's done a good YouTube video, they'll promote that. But it's like, okay, that's cool. You're showing all the good stuff. That's fine. All the positive things are out there. But what about addressing the questions that everyone has? One of my main concerns really, and I use Telegram a lot for work. I'm pretty much on it all day, most of the night, because we use it in the work environment in blockchain and crypto a lot. But when we're on the actual MultiVac site and we go to click through to Telegram, we see here, you obviously can't see my Telegram page when it opens up automatically, but we've got 11,929 members on here, 585 online. But every time I go through on there, maybe I'm blocked, I'm not sure, but it doesn't really come up with anything. So if you guys have any better outcome on Telegram than I do, please do drop in the comments below if that link to Telegram works for you guys, or if you go to some random chat thing like I just did. Please do let me know. And if you do get through, what's it like on there? Maybe I have to try a different device or something, but maybe it's just a technical thing. And finally here on the YouTube side, the last video was 6 months ago, and this kind of tails in really with how things have changed with MultiVac 6 months ago to now. No content really that's kind of like stepping out and exciting. And like I said, the market is really bad at the moment. Projects aren't going to do major, they'll do a lot of development in the background, but they won't probably do major announcements or big things or launches or anything like this in a bear market like this, because it's just not, the return on investment's just not going to happen. And I understand that, but I would like to see more interaction with the community. I don't see this with MultiVac at the moment. I just see like reposts and retweets about positive things that make them look like they're in good light. But there's no responses to people's questions. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they get annoyed when people are like, update us, what's going on? But come out and do something about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I'm sort of sitting there. I'm not going to sell. I put money into MultiVac, and I believe in its technology and what it's about, and they're still live in my mind. But I'm not going to go mad anymore with like investing, like adding money to this. I'm going to do it in drips and drabs as I have been, especially at these low prices. And I have got the all-time high in my mind from prior to this. That's sort of keeping me going really, in the sense that, well, it's arguably a high-risk asset now in this sense, because of what's been going on and because of the lack of information and things like this. So it's, in my opinion, it's a high-risk one. That's not financial advice. That's just how I feel about it now. But obviously, sometimes with high risk comes high reward, and never invest what you can't, or don't invest what you can't afford to lose, as they say. And I think that's a top point. And it's something that I've engaged with recently. Is like, Okay, I'm not going to go mad on this anymore. I've got the ISO coins that I'm really focused on, and other things as well. This one's just going to be added to in really, really small amounts as and when, just to build up the portfolio as much as I can. So if things do turn around, absolutely brilliant. But I do want to get involved with the staking potentially as well. That's kind of where I'm sitting with MultiVac, guys. Let us know in the comments below how you're feeling with it. I think it's pretty clear that everyone's pretty annoyed with MultiVac at the moment. Just trailing earlier through the messages and tweets about MultiVac and the users and people who have and haven't invested in them. It's not looking great. That's why I just think come out with like a live AMA or something, just anything. You're gonna get people like angry and stuff, but just get over that. Like, just come out. Even if you don't want to open questions to the audience, just say like, this is what we're doing. We're still here. This is the team. I don't think anyone knows what the team is. If you go on LinkedIn and you go through the MultiVac team, a lot of them are like hidden and stuff, which is fine because you're not like direct connections or whatever. But it just doesn't feel. Yeah, it just feel like there's a connection like I have with a lot of the other projects. A lot of the CEOs and stuff out there project-wise, they're really open with me. We talk quite a lot with pretty much most of the projects that I talk about on videos. I know the people in the hierarchy, and that's just through like work and stuff. I work in blockchain and crypto, so it's not a problem for me. But it's just a bit weird. Guys, I'm going to jump into the chart. I think we've talked enough about MultiVac's weirdness right now. I just wanted to reiterate this blue marker here on the right hand side. This is to indicate the price range since these previous highs here on the 26th of October. And since then, we've obviously had a bit of a downward trend like we did in most of the market. Bit of an upturn in November, but then come December, it was all systems down from there. We're actually 96-ish% down from this previous October level. If we want to look at matching points from last year, we're actually even probably still lower than that. If I just go back to the 9th of June, we were at approximately, I'm just going to go try and get bang on here. So we're on a high of 0.004. So we're only a quarter of that right now. So we're in a pretty testing period right now. We're testing these lower regions that we had before. Yes, we had loads of overpurchasing with MultiVac, loads of influencers involved with MultiVac and ambassadors. I think that helped drive it up as well. But then obviously the changeover and everything, maybe in the background people knew, which is why we had these weird moves that were not correlating with the rest of the market, if you like. So we're now tracking back down to these previous levels that we saw March last year. And we're not quite as low yet as we saw back here in the early February, March period of last year. So we've got that kind of small bit of positivity to cling on to, if you like. And I'm just going to zoom into this area. It doesn't look great, does it, at all? However, what I will say is we're starting to get a small bit of stabilization with MultiVac. We've had these lower regions. We had this cooling off period where the volumes have just dropped off significantly. And this maybe coincides with what I said earlier. My principle of what I'm doing is I'm not putting a load of money into this. I'm still going to add to it when I see little dips, but I'm not going to go mad like I did before. And I actually think that's really a reflective point in this chart right now. Certainly here, 11th of May, since then, it's been steadying itself over this Fib retracement level 0.001, pretty much bang on the nose. And it's stabilized itself just above that so far. My point being is the volumes are very low considering what they were before that. So that's actually quite interesting to see that reflection point on this. And yet I don't see it coming like up anything significantly in the next few months. I think the whole market is, we're waiting on Bitcoin to see if it can hold at this 30 mark. I still believe it's going to come down to around 22, maybe even less, and that will drag the rest of the market down as well, in my opinion. However, on the topic of being stable with MultiVac recently in the last couple of weeks, we do see on the MACD we're still in this bullish momentum. The RSIs are showing a bit of positivity as well, in the sense that they're still really low, so they're good buy opportunities both on the 14-day, the 28-day, and especially that 90-day as well. So if we do have a reflective point, guys, by the way, I just want to point this out in a positive manner. If we do have a turnaround in a few months' time, like the market finally brings itself up for whatever reason, these are really good indicators on a 90-day to look at. We're at 42. Okay, that's a really good, interesting indicator for a buying opportunity. And even on the 14 days, 34, it's not as low as it was back here on the 26th of May at 22, but it is showing some stabilization. This gap is still quite wide on the MACD, so it's slowly showing some really weird, significant aspects here to showcase that it is stabilizing and having some intake. Not huge, but balanced, and it does reflect massively on what I said earlier in the video. 7% up on the week again as well. That is showing a good sign on the week or the 2 weeks indeed. The rest are still absolutely appalling, but this is really interesting. Could be the staking as well, perhaps the turn on the long staking, that people are getting involved in that, to think, do you know what, I've got these MTV assets, might as well use them, stick them in there in the bear market. And a lot of people do that, and it's certainly a good passive income opportunity, or indeed just an opportunity to safeguard tokens. Even if the price points up and down, the APYs are still pretty good usually, so that could be another factor. But yeah, the RSIs on the 14-day and the 28-day are reflecting, in my mind, good buying opportunities. But I'm not going to go mad, as I said. So this kind of like gives a bit of an interesting story for MultiVac at the moment, guys, because I'm 50-50 in my mind. The stabilization of this looks like it's 50-50 as well. It's almost like it's in correlation with some of the other market assets as well, that people are just not confident in everything at all. And it just doesn't help with MultiVac's situation, that they are so hidden with all the way they work, the way they think, and what they're trying to produce as a project. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this. But I think with all that in mind, guys, we'll wrap that video up there. I'm really interested to know your thoughts and opinions on MultiVac right now. Do drop them in the comments, good or bad. We'll reflect on some of those in the next MTV video. But guys, let's see what happens. There's not a lot going on with MultiVac, is there? We'll have to see. But thanks for watching. We will indeed see you in the next MultiVac video. Take care. Bye bye.